Uh, as I mentioned before, like first of all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this mini boot camp for pen testing held by InfoSec Train. This is Sayem Negi, and I'll be your speaker for the 3 days, right? And we'll teach you, we'll guide you regarding pen testing. We'll give you, some knowledge about pen testing, what it is, what is it is all about, what are the process over there, and all that part. And talking about me, like just for the introduction, a brief. As you can see, I have good amount of experience over here, 5+ years of experience. So this I am having in this training industry. My domains are security testing, cloud security, and DevOps. Key competencies: strong communication, interpersonal skills, hands-on with different pen testing scenarios. Like uh, this is like brief. If I talk about uh, my journey, I never started. I didn't start from cybersecurity initially. I worked as a web development part. Okay, I used to do that, but later down the line, I didn't like that work much. It wasn't. I won't say didn't like it, but I would say it was not giving me that joy, or you can say it was not that much intriguing. So I used to have this network related thing. I used to like them a lot before, back in the college days. You might be aware of, we play games in college days, multiplayer games. For example, that in a room, 5 team aside, like Counter Strike games, isn't it? Anyone played Counter Strike before? You might be knowing that, when we used to play with teams, what do? We used to connect with the router, isn't it? Then 10 people are connecting with the router. IPs are being distributed, and one server will be there which will be starting that game. Correct? So see how easy that concept was back in the days. One server will be there of the game, one person will be managing the server, and rest of the people or rest of the team players will be connected to it. So it will be what a client server scenario, isn't it? Team players being a client interacting with the server, isn't it? So one person will be there which will be acting as a server, which will launch that person will launch the game, select the maps, select the rules, select the guns, everything, right? So see how easy that concept was, right? So it was like back in the days I used to like this a lot. But later down the, everything was forced, or you can say not much aware, which is normal thing. Many people are not aware about this regarding more and more uh, technologies, or what is just beyond the web development part. So I did btech I did btech, and after btech, generally what is there, web development is a hyped thing, right? Many people are like, they'll be saying do the web development, learn this, learn this, learn this, and many of our family members are also there. So, but I later down the line was not much intrigued with that job. So I later switched to this cybersecurity field, which I previously liked, and I'm doing this for a longer period of time, right? Uh, so one thing which I want to convey is, it doesn't, that this field is open for everyone, as I mentioned before. So if you think that you are from different domain, or if you have not, you don't know anything about pen testing, or not pen testing, I would say anything about cybersecurity, it's not like you won't land a job. So it's not like that. You can, guys, dedication and sincere hard work will be required, right? So that's my journey. So once I switched to cybersecurity, it's guys, it's like a huge ocean, I would say. Ocean as in, the more you deep dive in, the more you explore about it, right? So cybersecurity is that deep. So I have filled my own buckets. I have done few certifications into this, right? Starting with from the very basic, which is your CH Security Plus, then landed to your ECSAs, ECIH, CTIA, and CSA, right? So I have done couple of these certifications into the cybersecurity part. Suraj is asking that As a pen tester, is there any coding knowledge required? I would say if you have a good understanding, a basic understanding for coding, that will be benefit for you. Like because in pen testing, or when we talk about in this field, there's a concept of scripting, right? That you write scripts. So
Yeah.
scripting will be there, like we have Bash scripting, we have Python scripting, PowerShell. So like if you have basic understanding of those C, C++, so you'll be like it will be easier for you to catch the concept, or you can say the functionality quickly. So it will be like an advantage, I would say. Atif, exactly, I would totally agree with that. Abhishek Oja, it is not base, it is Bash, Bash. Okay, great. Anurag Chandra asked, do we get any participation certificate for showing in our organization to be? Yes, 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 yes. So what we will do, guys, on the last day, I will be giving you a feedback link. Okay, so those who will fill that feedback link, within 24 hours. So about InfoSec team, it was established in 2018, guys, and we are one of the finest security and technology training and consulting company. We do provide consulting as well, apart from this training, and wide range of professional training programs, certifications, and consulting services in the IT and cybersecurity domain. And we are high quality technical services, certifications, or customized training programs curated with professionals of over 15 years of combined experience in the domain. So it says that we do provide we do provide high quality of technical services. Certifications are obviously there. We do train for them, and we also provide the customized training programs as well, right? Like like if you want to prepare for something, like for example, for any other, like we have for SOC analysts as well. So we have a customized course for this that will for SOC analysts, and we have with the name Red Teaming, which is pretty much good of an advanced level, you can say, which will eventually help you to prepare for the higher level certificates. So we do provide the customized training programs, and we do that as per the customer's requirement as well. Like if customer want to learn something different, like customize. Surya will cover one tool for sure. Will show you that. Okay. So our endorsements: 4 years, 4+ years of services, 70 plus pool of trainers, 150 plus courses of offering, 50,000 plus profession train, 100 plus corporate delivery, and 10 plus valued partners we do have. And these are our trusted clients: Citrix, Angular, Samsung, Infosys, Genpact, Microsoft, VMware, Deloitte, HCL, Oracle, Capgemini, Cognizant, Accenture, HP, EMC, right? All of them. Cool. While InfoSec train, certified and experienced instructor you will be getting over there. Post training completion will be there. Like services will always be given to you. Like it's not like once the course is done and you won't be having any contact with the trainer. It's not like that. Right? And we have a tailor-made training, as I mentioned before, as per the requirement from the as per your requirement, we can customize the course, we can tailor it, and we can deliver it. Right? And you can have access to the recorded sessions. So once the sessions are done, similarly like this, right, which we are doing right now. So we will record the session, and later, like this is for the courses I'm talking about. So once you opt for the course, like once those sessions are recorded, and after that you will be getting an email with the link, and those sessions will be provided over there. Flexible modes of training, flexible timings are there, right? Muhammad Ilyas, to test gap in our assets. Jeffala Group, similar to cyber attack against a computer. Tao said to find the vulnerability in the system. Arun Mother says to finding the vulnerabilities and to recommend the solutions. Suraj says weakness of the systems. Praveen says finding vulnerability and exploiting them to better assess organization. Exploiting vulnerabilities to assess security posture. Exploit the vulnerabilities. Pentester can penetrate the application, try to break with the help of different type of attacks. Finding flaws in cyberspace of that particular organization. exploiting access permission. Great. Okay, great. So can we say, like, it is kind of a security process where we evaluate our computer systems applications for vulnerabilities and, and their susceptibility for or susceptibility to threats like hackers and cyber attackers, which they can exploit. Correct? So we look out for these things, isn't it, guys? Right? So we evaluate the computer systems application for vulnerabilities and the susceptibility to threats like hackers and the cyber attackers. Great. There is a term vulnerability assessment. So vulnerability assessment is what? It is kind of a practice of evaluating a computer, or you can say network or application to identify the. So vulnerability assessment is where we are finding out that weaknesses, potential weaknesses in your computer, network, or the applications. But when we talk about penetration testing, so the practice of evaluating a computer network or application to identify the potential vulnerabilities and then exploiting them to gain the unauthorized access to the key systems and the data. And then they will be finally reaching to the production of evidence, and then they will create a report out of it. So that part will be known as your what? That part will be known as your pen testing. Got the idea, guys? Surur Ahmed, it is indeed it is an ethical hacking. Okay, TB. Yeah, yeah. See, when we talk about vulnerability assessment, I talked about, like, we identify the potential vulnerabilities or the weaknesses in your computer, network, or applications, right? Correct. So here what we do, then we exploit them to gain any unauthorized access to the key systems or the data. And then we'll be gathering those evidences, and then we'll finally create a report out of it, which will be helping you to resolve those issues or those weaknesses. Clear? So my question is, what is the difference between a pen tester, okay, and the red team? So see, as per your definitions also, you might have done Google side by side, right? So can we say, if you're talking about a pen tester, see, when they are looking, I really like a point which one mentioned. When what your pen tester will do, he will be doing what? He'll be looking out for the known vulnerabilities, isn't it? Right? He will check out if there is any known vulnerability in your computer, in your network, the system, right? Correct? So it will be looking out for the known vulnerability, and then he'll be exploiting it and then creating a report out of it. A normal scenario. So when I'm doing a pen testing, the entire organizations know about it, right? That same is gonna do the pen testing. Like your blue team is also aware of that. I'm signing a contract. You can say I will be having entire, scope of it. Everything will be out loud. Correct? Agree with that? So it will be what? You can say your pen testing would be like consider them as your pirates. Pirates, they shout, they are, pretty much open. They do not care about if someone knows about them or not. They just announce and then they, launch the attack. Correct? Pirates of Caribbean, for example. Right? Correct. But if we talk about red team, specifically what they do, they are your. Yes, Manjunath. They'll be looking at if there is any unknown vulnerability or if there's new vulnerability, they will look out for that, right? And they will exploit it. So what will happen with this? For red team, nobody knows about it. Nobody is aware. So this is kind of a what? This is like, real time incident. So they will be checking what is their incident response of their organization, how prepared they are if any attack happens, or if there is any exploit which is new for everyone. So how good the entire team handle, the incident response team handle, and how prepared their blue teams are in order to fix the patches and to protect those servers, their network, their systems from those kind of an attack, and how they can minimize it and how quickly they can do that. That will be the target, that will be the job of your red team. So you can consider your red team as your ninja, those who go in a stealth mode, right? And they attack surprisingly. Pentest, you can say like a pirates. For a pentester, it will be known to everyone. He'll be looking out for the known vulnerabilities, exploiting them, and create a report out of it. So everyone knows about the pentester. Blue team already know that someone is gonna do the pentesting. Entire, this you can say planning and scoping is done. What you will do, entire project will be listed out. But for the red team, right? For the red team, they will also look out for the unknown vulnerabilities, kind of a zero-day attack, okay, or zero-day exploit. If there is, unknown vulnerability, of they will try to find out the new vulnerability as well, and they will try to check how prepared the company is. Like, when red team is doing an attack, nobody knows about it. For a pen tester, everyone is already aware about it. For red team, nobody is aware about it. They do it silently in a stealth mode so that they can check how prepared the incident response team is. Incident response, as in whenever something, an incident happens in our organization, lot of procedures are there. Like, like you put the systems into, you first of all identify the threats, then incident, then you do the containment part, you put that system into isolation so that it will not spread, and so on. Multiple steps are there. So basically, how prepared you are or how you react to those kind of incident, that is your red team is looking out for. They exploit the new vulnerability first of all thing, like, they will try to exploit the vulnerability. If it's unknown, they are also looking out for those things as well, and they're trying to check how prepared their organization incident response team and their blue teams are, how quickly they can handle that incident or that scenario, how they can minimize the effect, how they can react to that, and how good they reacted. So red team will check what the real time or real security incident, like, more close to that. That will be your red team part. They, guys, these both will be your ethical only, okay? They do not have any malicious intention. I won't put it like, they both are having any malicious intentions. No. Correct, Surud. Yeah, both of them. Pentester also will be telling about the resolving steps, or they will be creating a report where they will mention this was the exploit. When Pentester create a report, they will tell you this was the exploit. They will create a IOC, you know, uh, sorry, that POC, proof of concept. They will get a screenshot also. They will take a screenshot attached to the report. They will tell that, okay, this was the vulnerability. This is the way I exploited it, and this is all what I can do with that particular vulnerability. So, to help the security team in order to fix that vulnerability. Manjunath, no, 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 no. Guys, this is specific to your pen testing only, and this is a beginner's guide to pen testing. So you can say, like, we'll be touching the base and trying to let everyone get aware about pen testing part. Okay, clear everyone with this? Great. So next is, what are the benefits of pen testing, right? So obviously, testing cyber defense capabilities, revealing vulnerabilities, finding security holes, supporting risk management, and ensuring the business continuity, right? Any other thing apart from that, which is in your mind? Like, they'll be finding and, we can say, plugging the security holes before they can be exploited by anyone else. correct? They'll be protecting your clients, partners, and others. They'll be trying to help you to protect the organization's reputations as well, right? Isn't it? And they'll be enhancing your quality assurance as well, correct? So these are some general benefits of your pen testing, correct, which we have already discussed. Now see, entire structures over here. Processes commonly used for pen testing. Left hand side we have cyber attack, right hand side we have pen test. So if we talk about cyber attack, we do have what? Reconnaissance, scanning, gaining access, maintaining access, and covering tracks, right? A normal cyber attack. Guys, do you know what is reconnaissance? Okay, great Pradeep, great Mohammad Khan. Yeah. See, if we talk about, guys, let's talk about pen testing. We have planning, reconnaissance, scanning, gaining access, maintaining access, covering tracks, analysis, and reporting about them. So planning, what it will do, what do you understand by planning? Let's take some, answers from you guys. What do you understand by planning, guys? Tell me. Plan to achieve identified objectives, scoping. Planning means having some rule. Chahat, good one. How to gather more details about target and then execute the attack. It can be any purpose scope. Great. What is the end game and how to go about doing it? Good. Through the way we can access the system model for the target. Through that's great. But your alphabets are flying, you know. Bhagav roadmap to the target to close ASAP. Okay. Gopal Devari, port scanning won't be part of your planning, right? Okay, you were talking about reconnaissance, neither for reconnaissance, I would say. Ah, okay, but we have listed out scanning part separate for that port scanning which you're talking about. Plan to achieve identified objective. Level of access will be required. Arun, yes, good one. So planning is what? It include project scope, the logistics, and you can say other preliminary activities which we'll discuss later. Rules of engagement will be discussed over here, like what you can do, how much you can do as a pen tester, what all tools you will be using, how much deep you can go, or what servers, what network you'll be doing the pen testing of. All of this will be defined in your planning and scoping. Okay, that will be your planning and scoping, where you plan the entire thing and then you create a scope that how much this as a pen tester you have to do the pen testing, or at what level or what a network or servers you will be doing the pen testing of. That will be your planning. Clear? Then we have reconnaissance. As you have already mentioned, it is a information gathering, right? It is a what? It is a information gathering, where we do what? Where we gather the information about our target, we narrow it down so that we can have a good level of understanding, and then we can strategize our attack, correct? That will be your reconnaissance. Is that clear? Great. Then we have scanning. Scanning is what? It's, you can say, kind of a deeper than reconnaissance, where we do the port scanning. For example, we'll start the vulnerability assessment as well over this particular section of scanning. We scan the ports, we try to define what all ports are open, what all services they are having, all that part, and then we'll try to get more information about them, what version of services they are running, all these things. We'll look into it. Then we have gaining access. Then we'll begin the exploit. We, based on the information from the earlier stages which we have gathered, we'll do the exploit. Then we maintain the access. We ensure the continuing access and find the new targets as well. Then we covering tracks will be what? We'll be destroying the evidences of our exploit. In covering tracks, we destroy the evidence of our exploits, right? To so that nobody would be able to trace us. Like, see, if we talk about in uh, general, in genuine way, like think about it from an attacker's perspective. Like nobody want to get traced back, right? Like if you're doing an attack, obviously you will not want that someone would be able to trace you back, correct? Right? So it is very important to cover your tracks as well, so that you're part of your pen test as well, to see, like, blue team won't be able to determine. Then we have analysis. So analysis do what? Like, they'll be, you can say, like the all of vulnerabilities which has been identified, their causes, and they'll be giving, you can say, recommendation for the corrections in this part. They'll be giving the recommendations for corrections in this particular portion. Then we have reporting. Reporting says, like, they will create an entire report, and which will be like an official communication to the stakeholders. So in that report, everything, entire structure, like, how that pen testing went from the start to the end, what all vulnerabilities they found out, how did they exploit it, what will be the solution for that to secure it, will be entire discussed in your reporting part, right? Clear, everyone? So, like a normal cyber attack, just planning, analysis, and reporting will be the few things which will be add up, or add-ons in this particular entire process of a pen tester. So as I mentioned before, planning and scoping what, where your entire scope of pen testing will be discussed, right? So see guys, your pen testers, they can be what, either they can from the company itself, or they can be, either they can be hired, or you can say they call for a third party. Third party as in, you can call out for a pen tester and he will do the pen testing of your organization, system, network, or so on. Like if I'm a freelancer pen tester, an organization, they can call me, they can contact me, and then we'll do the pen testing of it. Correct. So according to that, we have to do what? We have to first specify our plan and our scope. So that will be a planning and scoping. It will be discussed with the organization, right? That being a pen tester, what all things I can do, what are in my range, or what all things I am authorized to do, will be the part of your planning and scoping. So we'll be discussing few of them, right? So very first one, when you are doing planning and scoping, we have a lot of terminologies over here. So we'll discuss about those terminologies, right? Who is the target audience, right? See, it is very important to first of all determine what your target audience is, or for whom you're doing the pen testing of. Either it is a small retailer, or is it your multinational bank. Like, see, it is like, what happen is when you are testing different types of information systems, it will obviously affect the target audience composition, as in their host, their networks, their web servers, their applications, their database, and so on. So you should know what does the business do, what are their objectives, right? So you need to know all of these to properly to plan a plan test, right? So you know whether there are technical or non-technical people over there, is the testing team internal or external, all of these things will be specified in the part of your who is the target audience. Okay, then we have the very important factor as well, which is in every aspect, which is your budget, right? Budgeting. So you have to determine, like, what is your budget. According to that, you will be doing your pen testing, isn't it? If you know the budget, so obviously you won't go beyond your budgets, right? Whatever the budget is defined, you'll do the pen testing according to the budget only. So technical considerations, they are often the first thing that penetration testers, or yeah, pen testings, right? In this, they are penetration testers, they think about it, right? So budgeting is also
equally, or I would say a major part of the business process of penetration testing. So determining a budget and staying within it, it can make the difference between a feasible successful business and a failed effort. So you have to determine the budget as well, right? So the budget it required to complete a penetration test, which is determined by the scope and the rules of engagement, which is also denoted by your ROE. So for internal penetration testers, a budget it may simply involve the allocation of time for the team so that they can conduct the test. But for external testers, a budget normally starts from an estimated number of hours based on the complexity of the test, the size of the team, and any cost which is associated to that test. So in short, when you talk about budgeting, it obviously plays a vital role, and because it controls many factors in a pen testing. Like if you have a large budget, you can perform a more in-depth pen testing. It will be increasing your timeline for testing. It can increase the scope as well. It can increase the resources, like people, technology, etc. So since services which are provided, they must be worth the money that is being spent on that particular pen testing service. So that is why your budget it has a significant effect on the pen test scope. See, budget is not all. We have, you can say, resources and requirements as well. Here it is. See, so goal of a pen testing or pen test plan is to clearly define the parameters of the pen test engagement. So like it will be determining what resources will be made available for the testing team, and what requirements are expected from the testing team is defined in resource and requirements. Okay, requirements which are expected from the testing team is defined in your resource and requirement, right? And it will be also determining what resources will be made available to the testing team. So there's one thing, guys, which is confidentiality of findings, which is to be considered when there is a listing of requirements. Confidentiality of finding means that during the course of pen test, it is assumed that there is a pretty good possibility of sensitive information getting discovered by the testing team, right? Can we say that? Like when doing a pen testing, there's a very good chance that sensitive information may get discovered by the testing team, right? So client is very likely to include this confidentiality provision in the engagement plan, so that it helps to ensure that the information which are discovered during the pen test is shared with the appropriate entities only, nothing beyond that or no one else from that. Like for example, uh, if a pen tester he or she finds a SQL injection vulnerability in the company's public facing website. Okay, open web application security project, right? Good. So you might be aware of this, that this is a non-profit foundation. This is just an external thing, extra thing which you are discussing. Why I'm discussing, I will just relate to that. OVAS, you all know, it's a non-profit or foundation, which generally in your 3 to 4 years they release out the 10 uh, you know attacks, most done attacks in the world, right? So after every 3 or 4 years, they produce a list of 10 most done attacks from top 10 years. So like from A1 to A10, like A1 as in most done, having a most impact, and A10 will be least done, having a least impact. So they'll be listing out top 10 attacks which are done in those past 3 or 4 years. Recently, we are following 2021, which was just released couple of days back, like it has been month, and before that we were following OWASP 2017, right? So in OWASP 2017 and even in 13 also, which was previous to 2017, you might be seeing, like if you Google it out also, you might be seeing that there is a on the top of A1 web application base can be of different types: command line injection, SQL injection. So it is one of them. So it is not that you can say normal attack or something like that. It is very good attack, right? SQL injection, you can say with this SQL injection, like if we talk about our databases, they they interact with the SQL queries, SQL queries, right? So what we'll do with the SQL injection, I will try to interact with the database, and through which I will try to get a lot of sensitive information out. Make sense? So I will try to interact the database, and through that I will try to get the sensitive information out of it. Clear? What is SQL injection, everyone? Tausi, yes. Great. So getting back to the example, like if pentester finds a SQL injection vulnerability in the company's public facing website, so then obviously organization will want the pen tester to keep this information confidential to minimize the risk, right? And moreover, the requirement might also set the restrictions like to which privileged person shall the pen tester inform this issue or this vulnerability. For example, IT managers only and not to standard employees. Because in SQL injection, why I said like public facing websites, because one of you also mentioned in the login portion, like you have what, you have username, you have password input field where you can write your username and your password. So what I can do, I can inject some SQL injection in these input fields, through which it will be helping me to, because see, when you hit the login button, guys, when you enter your login username and password, when you hit the login button, this request goes to where? It goes to your database, correct? Exactly. So database consists of many tables, right? Database table. So it will be checking, cross checking whether this username and password is present in this table or not. If it's there, it will be validating you or authorizing you. Sorry, authenticating you. So similarly, what I am saying is, instead of these, in this parameter, I will pass on my SQL injection, SQL injections, and it will be interacting with the database, and then I can get a lot of information out of this database if it's vulnerable. Clear with this? So similarly, since SQL injection, I'm interacting with the database, it can really, you can say, it can, you can say this, as a pen tester, I may find some interesting or sensitive information, right, out of this. Like the pen tester, he maybe discover the important or sensitive information or confidential information out of this database. So to minimize that risk, it is important that pen testers or this team, they should know which privileged person they should contact to, and they should keep it confidential and not to reveal it out to other people. Clear? So that will be part of your resources and requirements. So it will, like eventually it will be connecting to your communication path, which I just told you, right? Communicating to your IT managers only. So pen testers or penetration testers, they should clearly define their communication path during the planning. Okay, during the planning stages of an engagement. So by defining a communication path in advance, it provides testers with an easy way to answer to requests for information which are made by the organization's managing system. So if you want to add on this, what can be happen, like pen testers, they should also establish a rhythm of communication with their clients to provide periodic status updates, right, on regular basis. So one common way to achieve this is to set up a meeting with your key stakeholders, where the pen testers or penetration testers and the clients will discuss the issues and provide the updates on the progress of the test. So in short, you have to determine who do we communicate with about the test, what information will be communicated and when, and who is the trusted agent if testing goes wrong. Got it? Great. Then we have what? Then we have technical constraints, right? Technical constraints. So technical constraints are the thing that cannot be changed at any circumstances. That is why they are called as constraints. Yes, Ru, it is preferred to be on the and report generally. Yes. Like, but if anything goes wrong in the middle of that pen testing, then you should know at least whom to communicate with, right? If anything goes wrong, like if it's very important or you can say it's very urgent, and you need to make someone aware regarding that. If anything goes wrong as well, then you have to know, like, whom to communicate with and whom you should tell about it. Clear? Great. Yeah, so we were talking about technical constraints, right? Okay, so what technical constraints does is that it will limit your choices. They are fixed, so any changes to the technical specification can affect your project planning. Okay, like technical constraints, they may limit the frequency of scanning which is conducted by the pen testers. For example, the scanning system may only be capable of performing a certain number of scans per day, not more than that. And the organizations may need to adjust the scan frequency to ensure that all scans complete successfully, right? And then you have to provide the status in your report, like tested, not tested, cannot be tested, all that part. So these will be your technical constraint. Okay, like what you can do, how much you can do in a day, and all that part. Okay, great. So see, as you have already mentioned, ROE, rules of engagement, guys, this is to protect both the client and the penetration testers, right? So your ROE or rules of engagement, they are meant to list out the specifics of your pen testing project, right? They are meant to list out the specifics of your pen testing project so that you can, it can ensure that the client and the professionals which are working on a project, they know exactly what is being tested, when it is being tested, or and how it is being tested, right? Correct. Like, here are like ROEs on the basis of timeline, locations, time restrictions, transparency, and your test boundaries. Okay, so let's look at them one by one. The very first one is your, how long will the test be conducted? Correct? How long the test will be conducted? Timeline restrictions, time restriction duration, correct. Under specific time, have to complete testing. Yes, the testing should conclude within time specified. Testing must be correct. Exactly. So how you can say in simple line, how long will the test be conducted? A week, a month, or a year, right? Entire year. So what tasks will be performed and how long will each be planned for will be defined by your timeline, right? What testing is happening, source and destination. Okay, where? Okay. Remote side office. Great, great. So the location of the test team in relation to the organizations, or you can say client needs, it's need to be agreed upon here. So depending on many factors, like you can say how many locations an organization occupies, where will the tester be located, will it be on site or will it be a remote locations, whether or not these remote installations are in different nations. And the parties, we can say the parties, they should agree and record the amount of traveling also which is required to conduct a pen test. Okay, so these many factors will be here taking place in the location, rules of engagement. All right, so it tells what it tells you, the days and times your individual test can be performed. Like, are there certain times that are not authorized, right? So it will do what, you can say, Like, it will be telling you, will the timing of the penetration testing be known by the organization defenders or not, right? So it will be telling you, will the timing of the penetration test will be known by the organization's defenders or not? Will it be performed during peak or off peak hours of the business? And you can say, what about the days the pen testing will be done in the week? Like, whether it will be on the weekdays, at what days, weekend, or at what particular time. And what about the holidays? Will there be any holidays for them or not? Or they have to do it 365 days according to the project? Okay, so this will be your time restrictions. Then we have transparency as well in this one of your rules and engagement. So transparency says what? Like, who will know about the pen test? What resources will be provided to the testers? Will the organization provide resources to the pen testers or not? Right? Like, you might have heard about these black box, white box, gray box testing. Great. For those who know, that's great. For those who doesn't, guys, don't worry. We'll be discussing it later as well. Right? So see, transparency as in, like, what all information needs to be shared, like, what resources will be provided to the testers. These are like regarding the information which will be shared, or the resources which will be shared with your pen testers. So these will be defining. White box, you can say, for example, if you talk about white box pen testing, it's like sharing the entire information with the pen tester so that he can do the pen testing more in depth, like, giving more transparency, giving more information to the pen tester about your network, your computer, your servers. We'll discuss this is also part of your boot camp, so don't worry if anyone doesn't know about it. We're covering it in more depth. But as of now, those who doesn't know about it, social engineering attack is what, where you manipulate the peoples. Okay, where you manipulate people, you play with their minds, you can say in short, so that they can give you the sensitive information. For example, uh, you might have heard about phishing attacks, where you get an email and a malicious link will be attached in that email, or the attachments will be malicious. As soon as you click on that link, you are, you fell into the trap. So these will be what, these will be your social engineering attacks. Okay, wishing is also there. Wishing as in phishing over the call. We'll discuss all of these things later. Phishing, or like, wishing is phishing over the call. Like, you get the call from the scammers. Like, sir, ma'am, we are calling from the bank. You need to update your, documents or those information. And at the end, they'll be asking you for the OTP. And as soon as you provide them the OTP, there'll be a transaction of huge amount. Correct? So what they are doing, they are interacting with the people and they are manipulating them. Correct? So these will be your social engineering attack. All right. So boundaries, like, is social engineering allowed to be used or not? What about physical security testing? Do I have to check the physical security as well? Like, the fencing, the doors, and all that part, tailgating, all those things. And how invasive can be the pen testing be? That will be also part of your boundaries. It will be telling you about that thing. Okay.